your best selves. You are representing a whole bunch of people. In fact, for some people, you might be representing a whole race of people. Okay? This is the first time that the Science Museum has partnered with someone like us to do what we're doing. This is big stuff, and we do it with excellence. Everything so far has been with excellence, and now it's for you. We're passing the baton to you for this to be an excellent hackathon.
We're trying to figure out how to keep this section of the app running.
Good.
Like, it was supposed to send out a blast to Twitter as far as like a video, sound and audio. The moment that somebody tries to stop the video from playing, it still blasts it out to social media just in case anything happens. And that's her section. We still want to keep that going. Braden is working
So we actually had 50 kids who attended this event. So about half of them came from Youth Prize and another half came from We Impact. But the amazing thing about it is it was different demographics. It was nice diversity of students that were working together alongside tech. So it wasn't about what separates us, it's what about connected us, which was technology. And I think it's just been an amazing experience because we've had students that have come up to me separately and say thank you for this opportunity. We've seen tweets that said that they had the best hackathon experience ever, and we've had a lot of students that just said, I thought this was going to be a lot harder, but this is actually kind of fun.
Yeah, this really is essentially about inspiring children that we care deeply about to see themselves as innovators and creative problem solvers and the geniuses that we believe that they are. We Impact is about solving problems, improving communities, and inspiring hope. And we do that in a number of ways through the various programs, including our College Crew Leadership Development and College Readiness Program, which is the platform for which the kids are here today.
Education gives you an opportunity to grow and to expand, and it gives you options. And so having our kids here and going through this hackathon, many of them are being exposed to these new concepts around computer technology and coding. And so to see these kids in this environment is just so rewarding, and it's so exciting. I had an opportunity to sit in on that interview that you gave earlier regarding the young man, and he has a high IQ. He's very intelligent, articulate.
I have ulcerative colitis. It's an inflammatory bowel disease and stomach disease. I had it when I was 11, so I've had it for about 4 years now. It took about a week or two before doctors actually knew what I had and what was going on with me. And I stayed in the hospital for about 3 months. And I found out that no doctor at all really knows what causes my disease. I can probably create my own cure for this, and I think it's very possible for me to do it. I don't find it very hard at all if I learn more about coding and technology.
So the students were separated into 4 different groups focusing on social issues.
So I'm going to call on first names, and as soon as you hear your name, if you could stand up at the tables.
That's the spirit of it all, solving problems. So you identify problems that take place, right? So it's very personal to you. And for a student like Jace, this is why we do this, because ultimately we want our students knowing that they are problem solvers, that they actually can find technology solutions to make great things happen. And ultimately, by trying to get that, momentum and get that started earlier than later, you'll think, hey, for the next 20 years of my life, I want to spend finding this cure. I want to use this technology to research and inform others. And, that's the spirit of it all. And the earlier we can ingrain that into our students, it's exciting, and typically it doesn't happen in communities all across the board.
When I think about the future from today, I can see how we're inspiring hope. We believe that, the most dangerous person in the world is a person without hope.
Hackathons in general are designed to force you to unleash a part of your brain that you typically don't use. So you have a limited time, so it's almost like a fight or flight type of thing going on, and you're up and you're focused and you're trying to create something that works, not necessarily something that's perfect.
A hackathon is a 24 to 48 hour period where computer programmers, designers, creatives come together to solve problems. It's been popularized through Facebook and Google, but now they're starting to trickle down to the youth. And what we wanted to do with this hackathon is make sure that youth are part of the conversation and also solving problems that are part of their community. So some of the things that we thought about is, hey, what are things that impact the community every single day? Youth education, employment, community safety, their environment. So we wanted to make sure that, hey, they got in groups, they got on the whiteboards, they sketched out ideas, and they found a way to come together as a group. The powerful thing about this is that we had a lot of intentional diversity as part of this hackathon. So there was one group in particular that had a Muslim student, someone who was Caucasian, a black student, a woman, and you can just see them coming together, and that's the powerful thing because they're coming together around technology. It's about what connects us and what are our interests.
I'm here at the hackathon right now, and they're teaching me things that I probably wouldn't have been taught in school. So, part of me, I'm half Filipino and half Mexican, so part of me knows this struggle of like colored people trying to fit in this so-called system which never really works. This is important to us. There's gonna be a change, and if people don't like that, well, we're gonna move. This is the moment. This is the opportunity to do it now instead of like anytime in the future.
Well, I think it's very important that we have things like this in our community and other things similar to Blue, because African Americans need an outlet. We need something to do, something that can help us move forward, rather than resorting to crime, because we don't really have anything like this. That's why rec centers and libraries and things are good, because they give you something to do. But when there's nothing to do, that's how crime starts.
I think a lot of people, especially like in history, have seen African Americans as either you're going to be pro in athletics or you're going to be working with your hands. And a lot of us are very intellectual, and when handed those resources, we can do amazing things. But even then, with all of this at our disposal, it's still not enough, because we still, even with technology at our disposal, we still don't think to research ourselves or to do things with the technology that brings us to the next step. Not everyone will spend their time making an app for an issue or a cause, or even understand why it's important to know how to make an app for that future. Like, I think a lot of African American kids do not know who they are, their background, their ancestral black background, or know what their ancestors have done. And I feel that brings a lack of motivation when it comes to learning or applying yourself. I think the world is afraid of African American people specifically knowing things, knowing about themselves, and knowing how to use things that are growing. And I think that sometimes we're left out of a growing world.
Nataka wajue vile teknolojia ina change dunia. Dunia imeendelea mambo ya teknolojia, kwa hivyo lazima waendelee na hiyo. Kwanza huyu anataka kujua mambo ya wanyama, biolojia, hivyo ndio inaitwa na Kiswahili. Na huyu mwingine nimeona anaendelea kwenda mambo ya science. Vile dunia inaendelea, mambo yanaendelea kubadilika, na siku za zamani hatukuwa na watoto wengi wanafundishwa mambo ya sayansi na teknolojia. Siku hizi wazazi tunaendelea kujaribu kufundisha watoto wetu mambo ya sayansi, kuwaleta hapa, na inawapa chance ya kujifunza na kuingia mambo ya sayansi.
I mean, this is just one of many more hackathons. So after talking with some of the folks here in Minneapolis, they said, hey, when are we coming back? So our biggest thing is to get into Minneapolis as quickly, as fastly as we can, because once we've built that momentum, that energy from the students and seeing those light bulbs go off, we don't want them to go off. We don't want them to turn off. We want to make sure that we keep feeding them more information and more opportunities for great things to happen, and we're excited about that. So we have several more hackathons already planned for the end of the year in Chicago, St. Louis, and ultimately in Minneapolis.
The experience is very important. These kids deal with everyday issues that we see in underserved communities, and they're excited to be able to spend the night under dinosaurs and astronauts. They've never been able to do things like that. You know, we have some kids who are employed through the Science Museum who are here, but then we also have others who came through the We Impact nonprofit, and those children are just excited to be able to walk around the Science Museum, code in the Science Museum, build an app, take a nap, and wake up and do it all over again. So the reality is that I am having a ball, the kids are having a ball, and the mentors are having a ball. The thing that we need the most is we just need to show them how to do it. That's it. It's easy. They look at it like it's hard, but they're on their smartphones, they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. All of that started with an app. So how can we let them know to create their own app, make money doing it, as well as serving their community while doing it? So that is why we're here today. We talked about health issues, we talked about community safety, we talked about youth employment and education, and of course we talked about the environment. So we're building 4 apps to address those issues that we feel have a need for right now.
But here's the thing, right? The hackathon, just because the hackathon ends doesn't mean you guys stop with the app, right? You still have a presentation this next Saturday, and you can work on it. Yeah, you're gonna work on it. You can work on it if you want between then.
So, usually when we approach problems like this, the first and probably the most important step is really defining the problem as detailed as you can. Once you've defined the problem, then you can take time to analyze different potential solutions. And this is the biggest piece before, like all this process is defining the problem, analyzing the potential solutions, and then picking one, right, that you think is really going to work, and then designing that before you even start coding, right? And so a lot of the process, almost half the process, is actually just planning.
Job ideas. So that's a good one. I like that. We have homework help, which is another one. So it's part of the tutoring too, right? Interview practice. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that.
And I think too, or my belief is at least with these kids I've had the fun time with, is that this hackathon has woken up something inside them. A lot of them didn't want to do code. They were kind of worried. They didn't want to be bored. Now they can't stop talking about it. They realize they can solve these problems that they face every day. And so I feel like they're going to continue pushing. I feel like they'll finish the projects to what they think is the best of their ability. And then after that, they'll be looking for places to continue. They'll be looking for locations to sit down in and have an instructor, have a mentor that can be there and answer a question here or there, or provide classes that schools might not provide right now. And I think that's where they're going with this. They're going to go out of this hackathon, they're going to want to learn more, and they're going to need those spaces to do that. And it's going to be great.